But very often people with black hair have an issue around a feeling of shame and potentially the problem in their sacral center. So they're not as self-expressed as they'd like to be. So there is a little bit of that reserved feel where they they're not really all that liberated. And it is because people with black hair color, they don't necessarily always, like, again, society is very important. Sometimes they would act not because they want to act a certain way, but because their group expects them to act a certain way, and they really like following the rules. They really like, predictability and things like that. So it's very hard for them to get outside of their comfort zone. Because of that, they're not always self-expressed. So people with black hair color often, again, as a rule, this is a massive overgeneralization because I'm talking about millions of people, you guys. So I'm really trying. Appreciate the challenge over here. People with black hair color, interesting because they usually hold on to their trauma in their sacral and the throat. Both are centers of expression, just very different expression. So they're a little bit blocked in their expression. They also may be struggling with issues of shame, personal shame, that path into feeling ashamed of something, from like being normal to be feeling ashamed of something is very quick, for them in particular. And so, there's a lot of healing potentially that needs to happen around personal self-expression, right?
Why then, as a country that is more than 90% black, have the grooming policies in our public schools targeted Rastafarian students in particular and black hair in general? As with everything else, it has its roots in our colonial past. In the book Race and Color in Colonial and Independent Jamaica, Alting speaks to this subtle messaging that paints our African features as negative while at the same time praising Eurocentric features. It's this type of messaging that has been passed down through generations of black children and which our school administrators now joyfully implement. But let's not forget that it was just in 2016 that a corporate area prep school sent home a 3-year-old boy because they felt that his curly hair would give the other children lice. Might I also remind you that it was only in 2020 that Jamaica's Supreme Court ruled that the Kensington Primary School was within their right to ban a 5-year-old child with dreadlocks from their school, and that they did not violate the child's constitutional rights. It is not difficult to see why these grooming practices that are largely discriminatory to dark-skinned Jamaicans with Afrocentric features, it's not difficult to see why it is so pervasive in our institutions and in particular our schools. It serves as a constant reminder of who is really in control of our institutions. It serves as a constant reminder to teach the black underclass that if we want to partake in the benefits of these institutions, we will do so by Eurocentric rules and Eurocentric standards. If we want to benefit, then we have to abandon our blackness.
Okay, y'all, so a lot of POCs, men and women, we are familiar with this chart here. This is your hair type. Throw this shit in the trash. It's not real, it doesn't exist, it's not even realistic. That chart was created by this guy here, Andre Walker, and he was actually the personal hairstylist to Oprah Winfrey back in the 90s. Mr. Walker created this chart, which was so-called your hair type, in order to market his own hair care product line. If you go to stylists, you may or may not have heard them explain to you, we didn't learn that in school.
Basically, there are 4 things that we have decided to dwell on the very opening day. Firstly is on discipline. We discovered that the caliber of learners we have at George Stack have a tendency of coming to school unprepared in the sense that, as we have just seen, there are some who still have stylish hair, some have tints and all sorts of hairstyles which do not promote good learning at a learning environment. So that being the case, I decided not to send them back home, in the sense that if you tell them to go back home and be babbed properly, they have a tendency to stay on the road until the time we dismiss others. And as they get home as such, they don't even tell the parent the reason why one would have been sent back home.
So, I want to ask you a question. What makes a lion unique? Would a lion be still a lion without its head? Would a lion be a lion without its mane? Now, by answering this question, you will have to watch this video by Captain Ibrahim Traore telling Africans, actually telling the African teachers to stop forcing African students into shaving their own hair.
Just so people can really understand texturism, this is what our hair looks like. And the people who started this violence against this hair literally did that with their hair. That's how they styled it. Those were the people saying shit about this. Okay? They were saying shit about this when their hair looked like this. Well, our hair looked like this. Okay? Now, don't you ever validate texturism. Because people who looked like this created it. That right there. Well, we look like this. Okay, case closed. Case closed. No, actually, I'm not done yet. Because I'm gonna show you more. Art. Literal fucking art. Even the dudes were doing crazy elaborate things with their hair. Okay? It's literally an art form. This is where beauty and intelligence comes together. There's a reason that our hair is discriminated in media. There's a reason that those same people I showed earlier denied women like her the ability to wear this hair to school and work. Because we would have continued to design it in elaborate ways. We would have continued to know how to take care of it, and it would have flourished. And the moment you rip an African away from their hair, now they don't know who they are. But we are this. This is us. This is what we do when we have true freedom. This is what we've been doing for thousands of years outside of white violence. So go back to it. Just never forget, racism is narcissistic abuse, meaning at its core is deep-seated insecurity. And then there's just a layer of violence and aggression wrapped around it to protect that inner core.
So guys, the youngest and smartest president in Africa, Captain Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso, has done it again. According to Burkina Faso President Captain Ibrahim Traore, he is sending a strong warning and message to the schools in Burkina Faso, including the private schools and the government schools, telling them that no teacher should punish any student because of their bushy hairs or their natural hair. According to Captain Ibrahim Traore, he said, our hair is our strength. So if the student is not willing to cut his or her own hair, then they should not force them to cut off. But the only thing they can do is to guide and teach them how to dress it and keep it clean. But they should not force them to cut it off. That school will be sealed or will be closed, and the teacher too will face 6 months imprisonment. Are you with Captain Ibrahim Traore? Let me see your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think what he's doing is making sense?
So, good morning, Africans. Apparently, I've gotten this news, a very powerful news that I've been waiting for someone to say all this, you know. Look at my hair. I have the most beautiful hair in the world. Yes, this is called the typical African hair. And guess, you know what? Many other races have always mocked Africans. For example, the people of Somalia in Kenya call us nywele ngumu. Nywele ngumu means hard hair. Yeah, that is how the Somalis call us. You know, the Somalis have soft hair. Africans, they say they're not African. Some of them say that. So they call us nywele ngumu. Is a way of an insult in some way. But let me tell you one thing. This is the original hair. The first hair came from mine, you know. Okay, Remember that in the whole of Africa, we all have a black skin. Many of us all have a black skin, and we share the same hair. Apparently, some schools in Africa do not want the African hair. They don't want the afro. They want other styles of hair, but they don't want the afro. They don't want to see this African hair at all. Like, for example, in my school, I used to be told, go shave your hair clean hair. You don't have to comb it, you have to shave clean hair. The girls were told that, you girls, you need to come to school with your hair plaited, lines or banana. They would call it banana style or the lines. However, some people didn't settle well with them because it will take time for some other people to grow their hair, only to come into a school and be told that shave that hair. And remember, some people take hair as a spiritual gift. For example, in the book of Judges, yes, we had this strongest man on earth. His name was Samson. His strength was in his hair. I also believe that Africans, our identity, our pride, our everything is in our hair. When we shave our hair, we lose some part of us. Yes, we lose it. For example, we can tell someone is an African, a fully African, by their hair and by all that. Hair is one of the signifiers. This is one thing you should know. Now, the president of Burkina Faso, the powerful president, the most amazing president, President Ibrahim Traore, the youngest African president, Ibrahim Traore. Of course, we have another one in Senegal. Remember, West Africa is really doing things for Africa. Now, Ibrahim Traore just issued a law that all teachers must abide with, a law that no student shall be taken away from school because of having African hair. No student shall be forced to shave their hair. Ibrahim Traore is trying to ensure that Africans are privileged. Africans understand the type of hair that they got. This is a way of Pan-Africanism. Wait, you might say that Ibrahim Traore does not like people who are clean or that. No. Ibrahim Traore in this law, he says that the hair has to be shaven. No, the hair has to be combed. You need to make it clean. Make the hair clean and leave it in the simple, in the most simplistic way it can be. You know, when you come to think of it, why are these teachers shaving African hair? Why are they doing that? For example, take this. If a white student was learning in that school, would the same teacher, would they tell the white kid, go and shave your hair? You don't want long hair in this school. Would they say that? No. It's because Africans think that African hair is bad. It's not only hair, it's way beyond hair. It's way beyond hair. Hair is just one of the signifiers, but not the whole thing. You know, they wouldn't tell a white kid to shave their hair. They wouldn't tell an African kid to shave their hair because they think that hair is so fine, that hair is so good. But the African, oh, we have bad hair, we have this and that, our hair is dirty and our hair is hard. No, I love my hair. That's why I've I love this hair so much. I'll have to follow Ibrahim Traore's idea or thoughts. No shaving hair, just keep it clean. Yes. And remember guys, this is a video just to enlighten you and to make you appreciate who you are. Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso, is really working hard to ensure that Africans love being Africans. That's all for today guys. If you like this video, kindly subscribe to the channel. There's more about the African hair. I don't know if you can really catch up to that, but Ibrahim Traore, kudos man, kudos. There's more about the African hair. I've not touched on it. Maybe in another video we will dive deep into the African hair. For today, it was about discussing why and how it is important for us to appreciate being Africans. And if it means preserving our hair, we will preserve our hair by all means possible. Thanks to President Ibrahim Traore, the people and the children of Burkina Faso can no longer shave their African hair because they are told by their teachers. Ibrahim Traore added that if any school tries to shave or force a child outside the school to shave the hair, the school shall be closed. This is how serious it is. Now you know. Subscribe to the channel, give it a super thanks, become a member to the channel. Thank you and see you in the next one.